Hello everyone, welcome to another game of the All Hands on Deck tournament. Today in the blue trunks we've got 1-800, oh wait hang on, no I'm on the wrong side of this thing. In the orange trunks we've got 1-800 got Hellbombed representing the OSP. Squaring off against them we've got in the blue ANS trunks Iona Heavy Industries. Teams consisting for Iona is Iona themselves, Calibrun, Sir Poopit, and Pine. Squaring off against them for the 1-800 got Hellbombed is going to be Black Bat, Duke of Stars, Flynn, and Scrubbus. So this is the first game in the series. These teams have not played against each other yet, so we're going to see just what kind of silly creatures they have brought to display for us. We're seeing the initial deployments here kind of setting themselves on the outside edges of the deployment ring, going for the A point and B point respectively. Seeing similar thing from the ANS side as they are doing their initial deployments now, picking how they want to best dismantle one another. This is the remastered version of Blood Moon, so for those of you who still remember the original Blood Moon, this one has been updated since and is a lot more interesting to play. The original was not a bad map by any stretch of the imagination, but it was a little open, and this one has a bit more cover and other sprinklings that make it kind of interesting. It does have some very long open sight lines you can get on the outside A point here, or the C point up top, which is notoriously empty. There's just this singular rock, and then that is it up there. Very prone to getting hit by rails or mass drivers or the like. So, clock is ticking now, 50 seconds to go, as we see both teams ready to lock in and destroy each other. Let's figure out just what exactly they have brought to bear. Gonna do one last second audio check, just make sure everything works. Turn off the noise for a quick second, then turn it back on. And then that should work, right? Why is that? No, okay. Hang on a second, I broke it. There we go, that should be it. All right, there we are. Excellent. Descrinkle the audios, let's make it go. 23 seconds on the clock. Flynn and Poopit in a race to see who locks in first. They're finalizing this one, saying their last final words here. Hellbombed has some notoriously funny comms, so we will see what that ends up coming out as. I hope somebody's recording their comms. It was hilarious last time I got a peek into that one. That's up on Scapegoat's channel in one of the scrims. Anyways, Poopit is the first to lock in, so they win obligatory internet points there, Flynn, and not quite locking into the last second. Let's go through these fleets and see what they have brought to the table today. Let's see, starting us off here is going to be a Vauxhall on the ANA side. This is a very good sort of sweeper asset, fast mover, very good at shooting anything equal or lighter tonnage than it. Let's take a look who has brought this along. I have a suspicion. Oh, okay, interesting. Not who I thought it would be, but all right. So, we have Iona coming in here. They have got themselves a 250 Vauxhall here. Defenders all the way around on this thing. Backpack of size 2s, Whiplash Raider Drive, Classic Combo, Anti-Craft Munitions, Conjure Active Decoys, and then the size 2 hybrids, not as overpriced is what they're called. Seeing probably similar layout on this one. Yep, same backpack on this thing, Whiplash Raider Drives. And then escorting this is going to be a little gun and gem vet. Very nice stuff there, just a good little sweeper force. Heavy Frontline is going to be coming in here. Ooh, I love that decal. Thank you very much, Pine. You win big brownie points. 450 on the front of a battleship, and that beam backpack to sweep off anything that gets within 5k of the rear or side arcs. Dragonfly Whiplash Drive on this thing, so it's going to go super fast. Gun plotting center is very accurate fire. Good stuff to see in this thing. It's going to be a battleship here, supported by, it looks like, a accompanying force of sorts. Pine going to have one of their corvettes in here, rebounds, Mark 62s, and just a regular drive, and then so a little cheap escort there, able to do some work, and they've got another one accompanying them, really trying to push for that 8-point side. Taking a look, we've got Sir Poopit over here, who's going to be running a corvette blob of sorts, kind of a little bit of a light blob. Interesting. Got about 3 of them or so over here. We got this one, which has Mark 64 on the belly with a Mark 62. Got itself a bullseye and defender. And joining that is going to be number 2 here, which has got Auroras instead. Ah, fun. And no radar on this thing, but still very effective point defense on that. A little bit further back, we've got a torpedo vet over here. Got chaff box, defender, and then the gun on the chin. Torpedoes in here, most likely. Oh, no, hybrid 3s. Ooh, okay, that'll be fun. Got a bit of that for the long-range strike power. Seeing a similar kind of pairing over on this side, if I had to guess. Yep, going to see duplicate loadouts, so 2 pairs of those. And lastly, yep, another torpedo corvette. All right, so 2 trios of corvettes, and then finally a beam destroyer to watch that D point here. Yep, beam on this thing, got defenders, bullseyes, etc. VLS-2 there with some anti-craft munitions and active decoys. Good stuff all around. Double defender on that thing, but not choosing hemisphere coverage, instead going for the double topside. Interesting tech choices. Finally, they've got themselves, looks like a... Is this actual torp vet? No, this one's another one of those hybrid vets. Okay, interesting. So 3 hybrid corvettes. That's a fun little cap fleet there. All right, Calibrun is going to be running the 450 Frontliners. Holy shit, that's a lot of DACA going here onto this B point as both teams going to initially roll out. They get their E and D caps going off. A point is going to be reached. Duke of Stars investing 2 of these shuttles and going to be losing 2 of these shuttles if they try and run forwards. Go through these fleets quick. Caliburn going to be 450 Axfords, 450 on the front, Stonewall Defender, Cheeks on these things. Very good point defense, comms jammer on the back of this thing, Interrupt and Raider Whiplash combo driver there. This one's going to be a size 2 backpack. Yep, active decoys. Classic Acela pair Frontline that is going to do some very good work. A lot of tonnage pushing up here on the right side to get these Axfords combined with these Voxels going to be seeing off any threat that goes this way. So let's see what is brought against them. We had briefly seen Duke of Stars lose some ships. Let's go through Scrubbus first, who's on the front lines. 450 Broadsider is on display here. You're going to see this thing start to bark its shots as soon as it is able to get a angle onto those Axfords or those Voxels. 450 very effective against those Voxels. This one changing its ammunition types right now. Looks like these are your fairly standard current 450 with T20 secondary builds. Got a Warbler Jambler and a bit of other good stuff in there. Don't ask what a Jambler is. I butcher my words. Anyways, that's going to be Flynn, aside from their little Bloodhound T20 tug in the back, just meant to spot the enemy. Taking a look next. No, wait, hang on a second. That was not Flynn. What was it? Scrubbus. Ah, there we go. Yes, 2 of them had telescoping tugs. This one's got Bloodhound, is going to be trying to get those very accurate shots. All right, looks like the initial aggression going to be met here. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of firepower on both sides exchange very quickly. We need to get through these fleets fast. I didn't know they were going to be this bloodthirsty for each other. All right. 450 Acela is going to be doing a little bit here against the Axfords and the Voxels. Both teams just immediately start trying to dismember each other. Rail Cello in the back over here are going to be putting some shots downrange. Very effective against these bow tanking vessels. See just how many crits it can inflict. Iona just absolutely going for it, deciding that they don't want to jump onto Scrubbus over here, seeing how much damage they can do in quick succession, seeing all those Mark 64s flying out here. Not finding the best impacts, but going to start adding up pretty shortly on this one. I believe the other ship in turn had taken, yep, there we go, taking a couple of hits here, knocking out some of its buff modules. Couple of twin arm launch systems on here. Both. Wait, hang on. Are these all twin arms on the back? That is all twin arm launch system on the back of that. All right. That is a way to get rid of some craft. Hot damn. Frontline fight engages here pretty fiercely, seeing some Elimination countering out some of the jamming there. What's supporting the OSP right now is this carrier, Black Bat here in the back lines, trying to get a bunch of their craft off the deck, seeing them now launching a flight of bombers. These are equipped with Spearfish and KB-22s. A couple of fighters going around here with Perch rocket pods trying to do some ground pound. No carrier for the ANS side means that they can go purely into the anti-capital strike role or try and sweep up some of the lighter capper craft around the place, but they're going to have a rough go with the number of missiles and picket devices there on the board. Let's take a look. Duke of Stars right now is going to be trying to push up towards the D point using one of their bulkers here. This has got 450s on the side with T20s as well. Fitting that into the cap plate is a choice you can do right now, though it might not be as effective against light targets as a T30 bulker or a C56er. They got T20 shuttles. Looks like they're working in trios over here. This is going to be 1 and 2 on their keyboard for easy control. This is going to be a Omni soft kill device. You're able to get all 3 flavors of jamming: radar, optical, and the comms jamming at the bottom. And then lastly, I believe they're going to have, yep, that's jammer. And then this will be a T20 and pinpointer there. Okay, so shuttle trios and then a naked capper going towards a D point. I believe that is what you see, what you got for these teams. Scrub is kind of getting their teeth kicked in at the moment as they were suddenly arrested by 2 fleets up on the B point. Iona, in turn, going to be taking a bit of return fire, seeing that 450 starts to bite into the midsection of these Voxels pretty badly. Yeah, Guess Harsh certainly has eaten the worst of that. This is what happens when you walk into a lot of 450 mil supported by those rails. The ship is going to be heavily crippled. Notice it has no restores left and is alive basically on a technicality. Never going to fire a shot in anger once again, as it has been completely deprived of its magazine and weaponry there. Iona, in turn, maybe biting off a bit more than they can chew, as they're going to be eating some more 450 now as they are starting to pull off the point there. They did secure the B cap, but at what cost, though? See that they have their little jamming and gun brick kind of going along here, seeing if it can't maybe get out, but that's a lot to trade for a singular cap there that is not technically dead, but that Voxel is not going to be doing anything more this match other than eating bullets. So, at the same time, Duke of Stars is pushing onto the map and is supported currently by Black Bat with their flight of Surgeons, or just a couple of R3s, probably fishing for that beam destroyer they suspect is back here. They have only got visuals so far on Sir Poopit with the Stormwatch Corvette here. These are, ooh, this is going to be fun. I recognize this missile name. All right, size 3 size 3 hybrid anti-craft munitions going to be going out, seeing if they can punch Adamant flight here. These are keyed up specifically to take out bombers, so we're going to see if this thing is able to hit the target or not. It is on command mode right now. It is not staged yet. Possibly having a track error. There we go. There's a swing and unfortunately a miss as it just jukes, oh, to the side. Unfortunately, 2 of those going to swing and miss due to a little bit of sensor error, if I had to guess. Probably just not quite able to detect them. See them kind of flashing in and out there, or maybe just having a little bit of error otherwise. Does Impulse over here have jammers or anything like that? No, it does not. Okay, interesting. Oh, it's trying to do intercept duty. Oh, this is interesting. The mind game plays here as Impulse Flight trying to do intercept against these anti-craft munitions. That's a fun little thing that will happen at the bottom of the map. We'll see if those end up hitting or not. Frontline fight continues on this side of the map, and not too much happening besides the cleanup over there. These are just going to splatter. All right. Take a look at the A point. We can see that Pine went forward and died, as there's quite a few dead Corvettes around here. Looks like both teams trying to bring out these like triple capper wings. So you get Corvettes on one side, you get these triple shuttles on the other. Interesting little light fight going on the A point, but there's a battleship here with a beam backpack that, if uncontested, can basically just walk onto this point and cap it, cleaning up everything else in the nearby area. Duke Star still trying to push for that back point, but might walk into Sir Poopit back here with the beam destroyer. We'll take a look on the frontline development as well. So yeah, here we go. Now we're seeing, unfortunately, what happens when those rails and 450 start working together. Caliburn going to walk onto the point here, which is not actually where you have to be, since they were controlling that point already. You don't have to be on here. Instead, can go to ground and use some cover, engage these fleets one by one. Instead, they're going to be getting hit in the side here from Scrubbus. Coming down below, going to be laying in with those 450 bulkers. See them trying to take out the Vauxhall currently, which is effectively killed, just not quite technically out of the game alive, just with that big Raider drive and that's reinforced CIC in the slot. Axford's here. The Claire de Soleil has been taking a lot of damage. It does lose its bulk magazine. Does that mean that its guns are out? I don't see another magazine on this thing, so I believe that it is going to be out of firepower. Unfortunately, that means it has no way of defending itself. Ultra Flight Airborne in the back there. Let's take a look. Adamant over here did a strike, and looks like they have hit the Stormwatch pretty good. Sir Poopit maybe think about committing here. Looks like they've taken a good chunk of damage from something or other. Potentially was shot by that Bulker when it had moved out there. Reactor Bloom over on the B point. That's going to be kind of important. Let's take a look at the armor of these things. Oh, it doesn't exist anymore. Oh, dear. That is not good. This means that every caliber on the OSB side is going to pen through that armor on that Axford, rapidly reducing it to atoms. The Claire de Lune as well has been stripped here. That's probably the worst reactor bloom that could possibly happen, as every asset that's intact on this ANS frontline flank has just gotten completely smashed. All of the secondary batteries here with the T-20s are going to be swapping over to HEHC or Grape, depending if they have it. Grape Shot's very effective at killing off crew when you have a armor-stripped asset like that, because you can just pen right through whatever armor they don't have anymore. HEHC and the Grape Shot, like mentioned, is equipped here, so we'll see just if they start using those or not, because that was a hell of a bloom. That's partially why you don't want to overinvest your capital assets onto a point like that. It can be quite dangerous, especially when you kill off neutral cappers like those shuttles or corvettes. Duke Star's just going for it, diving onto Sir Poopit's beam destroyer back here. 450 is going to take this thing apart, as they elected to not bother finishing the cap, instead going for the kill, seeing if they can take this thing down, which they do just now. Stormwatch here is also going to be getting bled out pretty badly. Having this Bulker go into the map here and then secure that area is a kind of unexpected aggression, as both teams just being very, very aggressive with each other. Pine kind of holding back here for the moment, not quite sure what to engage. Could have dived over and possibly seen off Duke of Stars there on their aggression, but instead just kind of holding this side of the map, but also not holding it, as 8 Point is still in control of the OSP. Spectre Flight going to be finding purchase with some Perch Rockets. That is a lot of Aurora trying to fire off there, but that's also a lot of Perch Rocket in turn. 6 times 6 is 36 Perch Rockets, which is going to do more than enough to cripple this ship. It does still have its small DC locker, so it could technically put itself somewhat back together, but that is a lot of damage. Immediately followed up upon by Duke of Stars over here, sending some 100mm downrange. Meanwhile, in the frontline fight, Scrubbus having the time of their life, as they got lightly bruised and then suddenly fed a million pieces of burnt chicken, as all of those frontline ships were torn open, allowing their T-20 guns to fire. Looks like Scrubbus did get seen off over here by either a missile backpack strike or just some continued 450 fire. The ship is structure broken. They missed the exact kill on that. But in terms of like effective damage here, these bulkers are perfectly situated to cripple every ship that is currently on this flank. Rails are doing so as well. The added stacking bonus of the exponential growth of fires. Look at how many crits this thing has. So many damage components. 20 fires across this ship with no firefighting module. This thing is not getting up anytime soon. All of these have a chance to tick and spread that fire around. That is going to be misery. We're not even into the second quarter of this match, and already the ANS frontline has kind of been folded there. One capital going to go down for both Calibrum and Iona fairly shortly. Or other way around on that one. Anyways. Pine over here trying to do something with their battleship, but really needs to get into the fight. This is essentially 3,000 points worth of asset that is not really doing anything right now. It's just kind of slowly lumbering its way towards 8 Point. Shuttles are smart enough not to pick a fight with that, since they don't have any tools to strip off the armor and inflict damage, instead just going for every soft target they can find on the map. Duke of Star is doing very well with these shuttle trios over here. Sir Poopit, unfortunately, not finding the same success with their corvettes, just kind of getting bled out one by one, piece by piece. Taking a look back at the other side, Scrub is going to be moving around here, looking to get the final knockout shots on the Calibron. This thing is just barely alive with the aux steering and the small reactor there. Wouldn't be surprised if it gets structure broken in a little bit here. Flynn doing a good job just providing that rail support. Get off my cursor. Yeah. Yeah. There we are. Flynn doing a good job providing rail support downrange, seeing the combination of Bloodhound tugs there, just able to keep tracks on target. Scrub is now trying to secure the kills as they go around the rock, chasing everything here. OSP has themselves a 4-cap. They've cleaned up the D point. There's a isolated battleship over here, and we all know what happens when you're an isolated asset and there's an air controller on the enemy team. Would not be surprised if there's a flight of bombers queuing up for this thing before too long. Flynn going to start rotating the rails over here since they don't really have anything else to shoot at this current moment. Taking a look back here, you see that they had already seen off most of the capital threats on the B point. The ones that are still alive are having a not so great time. Loon over here is not taking the most damage right now, but is about to be opened up on. There you go. That's going to be a whole bunch of 100 mil and 450 chasing this thing down. Has to try and rotate itself on target. And again, singular bulk mag, while this can be quite good for the module efficiency, allowing you to take more reinforced modules in the front or otherwise pad your DC board, it does create a vulnerability where if this thing is sniped, you're going to have no way of defending yourself. In turn, we're going to see Duke of Stars trying to get some action here as they're going to come from behind, seeing if they can't pincer in Calibran here. Getting bulkers on both sides of this thing, just unrelenting firepower weighing down the ANS's front line right now. A point is being contested at the moment as the battleship does elect to step on, but here we are, Inferno flight, like we had mentioned earlier, going to be airborne, 16 Spearfish and 24 KB-22s. That is enough to heavily hurt a battleship like so. If this flight correctly, it turns off the KB-22s and goes for that rocket run and then does the second strike with the crippling bombs afterwards. This should be a very, very dead battleship. Let's take a look at this as we go by. We're going to be coming around the corner into point defense range, a little closer than they might want, but there's the rocket strike. Hello, that is going to be a crippling amount of damage dealt into the side, and then they line up immediately with the bombs, like we said. There you go. That is how you kill a isolated battleship, undone in under 30 seconds there. This thing is sent back to the naval yards. Going to be getting a fueling fire here just to cook it off for good measure. Completely structure broken and gutted by those bombs. This is the danger of going alone when you are facing off against competent air controllers. A point firmly in the hands of the OSP, D point as well. Immediately, we're going to see the ANS relegated to just the B side here. Singular Corvette attempting to find its way onto the C point and will. Nothing currently nearby to contest it, but ANS heavily behind right now. Not much they can really do as both of the, well, all of their frontline assets have actually been completely stripped of armor here. So every caliber the OSP throws at them is going to be effective. Over here, more and more of the Corvettes just kind of getting bled out. Scrub is having the time of their life, like I mentioned. Yes, they did lose a bulker, but in turn, the enemy lost all of their armor, and now it's just free real estate for the maximum DPS you can field with these T20 and C65 builds. Immediately see them knocking out one of those Corvettes there. Yeah, the combination of the rapid cradles and the, where are they, ammo elevators and such here, buffing up both your broadside guns and those secondary T20 batteries means you get a lot of damage, provided you are not shot, because the bulkers are fairly large targets and generally soft to things like 250 and the 450 that the ANS had brought. Rails just for good measure, as Flynn had nothing else to shoot at. That battleship was unmade a few moments ago. You see over here, Calibran just going to get smoked in the nose by, looks like, Flynn as well. Colon 3 dodges you over here. Is this thing double Raider drive? Nope, just singular Raider. With a name like that, I expected double. Anyways, a couple more shots here. Actually firing AP rounds. May not know that this thing is as armor stripped as it is. I think it's actually only got one side strip, so still has a little bit of armor, but not much in the way of, well, anything. That's actually going to be just shy of a knockout here. Does need to be structure broken, so they're trying to secure that. Oh, that might do it. A couple of those bombs going to find their way in as Lightning Flight came by, dropped some KB-22s. Very good secondary usage. If you don't contest the skies, this is a 3,000 point ground pounding fleet there, so you can just got shrunk and moved a bit. Ah, that's just a Twitch running a ad banner for you then, Sammy. Anyways, back to the game at hand here. That's going to be Axford basically dead. I'm not gonna lie, I like to be an optimist, but yep, ANS kind of recognizing the situation as well, seeing that there is not much they can do. Just heavy bleed out there. Going to be a very fast, brutal game as both teams. Oh, well, ANS extending over a little bit here. OSP kind of rushing up as well, but picking the much more favored engagements that they got there. It's going to be game one decided in 16 minutes. All right. Calibran tried to move forward there. Unfortunately, just found themselves under sustained withering fire of the broadsiders and the combination of rails and the other standard Acello 450 package. Getting a little eager there, steps on the point, was able to get some damage, but did not realize just how much was going to be thrown at them in turn. Pine isolated on that side of the map, unfortunately not really able to shoot at anything with the battleship. The 450 gun's not effective against those light shuttles, and the beam in turn just never really able to get onto target for too many things. Maybe picking off one or two of them. Sir Poopa getting asset bled fairly early on and losing the destroyer to the broadside bulker from Duke of Stars that pushed onto the map there and got a very good push onto that thing. double the points approximately of that beam destroyer here. So yeah, that's just going to be a I won because I paid more money change. Flynn doing pretty well here on those Acellos. Just kind of a sweep there in the first match. We'll see how they decide to change things in the second one. Scrubbus, like I said, yeah, getting some very good damage. We see what happens when Armor Strip goes through and all of those 100 mil batteries start biting into them. Also, very good air controller play there on the side of Blackbad, being patient with their strikes, building up sufficient number of Sturgeons to then deliver crippling blows like we saw there. Sturgeon rockets plus the follow-up bomb is a classic combo since carriers have launched, and that was exactly how you want to do it. Come from an unexpected angle, dive onto your target, let rip with your shot, and then follow bombs once you find purchase. Anyways, I've been NekoboyBlue. This has been Game 1. Let's get on to Game 2. Meow meow.